Hey friends, my name is Jackson and welcome back to my channel, Gender Not Found. So, Kelly said she's my only fan right now. I mean, I could have more fans because I get, like, multiple views per video, but those people don't really comment. But Kelly comments. Anyway, she said that she would like it if she would like it if I would finish another book that I was reading, or it'd be fun to start another book, but I haven't I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to continue a book that I was reading before, Alone in This World, which I started a really long time ago. I think I haven't posted any chapters in over a year. A Guardian Angel is on hiatus indefinitely. I have no idea when that's going to happen. So I only have my fan. Luckily, it's not super hot out today. It's only like 26 degrees, but tomorrow I'm gonna need it. I have to have my AC off right now because I turned it on and it smelled like vinegar. And I texted Jason about it, and he says he can help me. Jason's one of my neighbors. He's like a really cool guy. He has come over a few times to help me out, like with plunging the toilet before I switched my toilet plunger to one that I could actually plunge my toilet properly with. And he's been over a few times to like help me drill holes in the the environments. Like the first time he came over to help me drill holes in something, it was for the environment for my curly hair, which my curly hair is doing great, by the way. I'm a little more conscious these days of having my AC on and stuff in case she doesn't like it too much because they can get cold, so I'm being a little more conscious of that. So, yeah, but I did have my AC on a little bit yesterday. I just didn't leave it on while I went out for the day. Like, that's something I would do if it was like, I don't know, 30 degrees outside. Anyway, Jason's gonna come over later. He's been over to help me drill the holes for my millipede enclosure, and the newest one I got, which is gonna be my snail enclosure. I'm trying to work out the snails right now. I'm trying to work out the millipedes right now. The millipedes have already been worked out. Like, I'm going to I told the guy, I'm coming to the expo. Can you please just bring my 2 millipedes? He's gonna bring them. It's like $30. It's a little bit more expensive. Like, I think it's like $33 or $34 if you have a card. So I'm just gonna ask my mom if she can give me cash. She may or may not be coming with me. I've stressed how much I want her to come with me, but she may not. I don't know. I haven't heard a definite answer from her yet. So he's coming to help me change the filter, Jason, because he told me after I looked it up because I was worried about why it suddenly smelled like vinegar. I never sprayed any vinegar in there, by the way, but he told me to turn it off for now because I looked it up and it said it may be a sign of mold or fungus or something. And I do not know how to change the filter, but Jason does. So he's gonna come over. He's gonna help me change the filter. So yay for that. And he's coming over at 6:40. It's about 4:40. It's 4:47 right now. 4:47 is the exact time. Okay, so I have the book set up on my computer. Sorry, hang on. I only have my fan, which is fine. I'm still at a decent temperature. Like, I'm a little warm right now, but I'm not, like, super uncomfortable. And I feel like I can record without being uncomfortable because usually, like, sometimes I can be like too hot to do anything. Like, I'll be too hot. I'll be hot to the point where I don't want to do anything. But luckily, Jason says he can come over today after work at about 6:40, so that's when that's happening. But the last time he said he was coming over, he did end up staying late to, I think, finish a tattoo or something. He's the guy with the tattoo shop who literally lives right next to me. Like, he's across the hall from me, and then there's the guy who lives next door, and, so there's just the three of us in this building. I actually am planning to do the, what it's like living alone and a house tour sometime possibly July or August. I would like to get it done during the summer, ideally. So, like, I would like to get it done during the summer. Another thing I'd like to get done during the summer is my, review of that show that I was gonna do that has, like, one season and then it got canceled. And shows don't usually get canceled after one season, especially on Netflix. Like, I've seen shows that have had most shows have at least 2 seasons before they get canceled, and a couple of my favorite shows did get canceled. Like, I don't know if you guys know what Sick Note is. Sick Note got canceled after 2 seasons. Haters Back Off got canceled after 2 seasons. I was actually planning on writing a fan fiction that covered season 3, but that hasn't happened yet. I think I talked about it in a video, but then I never really got started on it, and I have, like, a lot of projects that are just on indefinite hiatus that I haven't updated in years because I'm focusing on my newer and more intense projects, and projects that I'm most interested in, and stuff like that. So, anyway, so Jason's gonna come over later. He's gonna help me change the air filter and stuff, and maybe he can show me how to do it because I don't know how to do it, but the AC unit is permanently in the window for the time being. It has been since last summer, and now it's summer again, and luckily it's not super hot today. I mean, it's hot. Like, it's hot enough that I would like my AC, but I'm okay with just my fan. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna see, maybe I don't have it on the maximum right now. Maybe I need it, like, higher. Oh, okay, no, it's on the highest setting. Okay, it's on the highest setting, so I'm gonna have to make do with that because I would rather just make do with my fan than possibly have a mold or a fungus because if the AC is on, then it's gonna be blowing all over my room, and I do not want that. Anyway, I am gonna go ahead and read the book. It's all set up on my computer, and there are a lot of books that I would like to start and read, or, like, books that I would like to continue. Like, I was looking, and I actually have quite a few books that I started reading that I read, like, 1 or 2 chapters of that I never bothered continuing because I just got so into a Guardian Angel. And you guys are probably wondering why I put a Guardian Angel on hold for the time being. It's because I'm just really congested right now, and, like, yeah, basically, just I'm dealing with long COVID, and I might feel better sometimes. I don't know. Maybe if I feel good enough, I'll record a chapter. But for the most part, just don't expect me to be recording any chapters. Expect that I'm going to keep posting other books and other videos. But I don't know. I just feel like with the congestion, it's not good to record a Guardian Angel the way I'm doing it, the way it's going right now, just the way my life is, and the way my congestion is. And I'm getting a part-time job, and I want you guys to know I may just leave YouTube for a while because I am going to, once I get a part-time job, I'm probably going to have to spend every, like, spare minute I have writing. And I think I figured out what I have to do. I'm gonna, like, pick a book from my list of books. It's not going to be in the Heart of Darkness. I already decided that. It's not going to be in the Heart of Darkness. I'm absolutely not doing what I'm about to say I'm going to do with the within the Heart of Darkness or the Heart of Darkness series. So essentially, it's like I am going to, like, pick a book from the books that I've been working on and just, like, I guess sacrifice it in order to, basically, I'm going to sign up for, I have to give up the rights. With traditional publishing, you give up the rights to the book, but you also get more of the money, and they take care of, like, marketing, editing, anything you need, and then that way I'm going to use that for traditional publishing. I'm going to pick a book that I'm already working on, I'm going to finish it, and then I'm going to use it for traditional publishing, I guess as a sacrifice, and basically sign the rights over to them and let them do whatever they want with it so that it can make as much money as possible, and I'm then going to use that money to fund my own self-publishing. And once I make a name for myself, I will then be able to put out another book under self-publishing once I'm making money and I'm making a name for myself, and then people will see that it's me and buy it, even though it's self-publishing and not traditional publishing. And I hate having to sign the rights away, but I feel like this is something that I have to do. This is really important. Like, because I can make a name for myself and I can make money, and then I can use that to continue funding my self-publishing, and people will see, oh, look, it's that person, and then they'll decide, yeah, I'm going to buy the book because I liked the other one that they wrote, and then they'll buy it, and I'll make more money, and I'm going to continue using that money to continue going and doing my self-publishing. Sorry this intro has been so long, there's just a couple things that I needed to talk about. But I'm gonna, like, put that into traditional publishing, sign the rights away to them, let them do what they want with it, and then, because if they do whatever they want with it, their motivation is to sell as many copies as possible, and then the money I get from those copies, and the money I get from putting my name out there, I'm gonna just use to fund my self-publishing, and then I can do whatever I want with my own books, and I can pick a company that's gonna let me keep the rights to the book, and then I'll just, like, do that, and I'll use that to fund my self-publishing, and then, you know, and then I'll be able to make money from that, and then I'll be able to keep the rights to my work, and I'll be able to do whatever I want with it. So if I want to publish in the Heart of Darkness, I can publish in the Heart of Darkness, because I am absolutely not sacrificing that one to the publisher for traditional publishing. There is no way. I love this story. This is a huge passion project, and I am not giving it away. I think it might be my most essential, like, the one I'm most invested in right now, more than, like, any of the other ones, more than the Girl in the Bunny Hat or anything. I do enjoy working on the Girl in the Bunny Hat very much, and I have some great plans for that one, but also I can't publish it because it has, like, you know, copyrighted characters in it, so I would have to, like, pay a fee probably if I wanted to use those characters, and then, like, use them in a book that I was having people pay for, and I'd possibly have to, give some of the money to the Adventure Time people who own those characters, because, I don't have, they're not my characters. They're copyrighted, and I can't use them unless I get permission or give some of the money over or whatever. But I'm really invested in the Heart of Darkness, and I'm probably going to, like, use my traditional publishing money to fund that one through self-publishing. Anyway, super glad that I figured out about the vinegar smell today, because tomorrow it is going to be so hot. Just so hot. I'm pretty sure tomorrow it's gonna get up to, like, 30 degrees. Let's see. Oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be 28 degrees. We got 27, 28 degrees, 30, 31 degrees. Oh my god, it's gonna be really hot this week. It's gonna be so hot this week. Anyway, so I'm gonna go on and read the book now, because this has been a really long intro. And this video is going to have chapter 2 and 3 in it, so let's go. Chapter 2, Memories. Marceline didn't sleep well that night. The couch wasn't the problem, and it was actually pretty soft. What kept her up was that she wouldn't be able to see her dad again. He may be a jerk, but he's her father. Marceline was finally woken up by Marshall shaking her. "Hey, Sleeping Beauty, wake up or else you're going to sleep the whole day away." Marshall was crouched down beside her. Marceline groaned as she lifted herself up from the bed. "Oh God, what time is it?" She looked around to find no clock. "Well, it's 11 a.m., which means time to find some grub, and maybe those disgusting things called jobs." Marshall chuckled. Marceline rolled her eyes. Marshall hated to work. Every time their dad got him a job, Marshall always found a way to get himself fired. The only job he was able to keep for 3 months was his job at the music store. He got fired because one of the employees blamed him for trying to steal when it was actually them. Marceline would be surprised if he saved all his money he got from working there. "All right, where are we going to eat?" Marceline stretched. "Well, I got enough money for the week. That should tide us over, but I think we should get a job so we can rake in the money to get us a better house." Marshall gestured to everything in this house. Marceline looked around and shrugged. "All right, but I can't imagine you holding a job. It's like the seconding of Satan." Marshall grinned. "I am the second coming of Satan." Marceline laughed. "I guess that explains why you're such a problem child." "Don't patronize me, Jesus." Marshall pushed her. Marceline chuckled and pushed him back. "The power of Christ compels you." Marshall pretended to be burned as he fell on his side, shaking his whole body. Marceline rolled her eyes and got up, nudging him with her foot. "Come on, drama queen, we need to get something to eat soon." Marceline pulled a hair elastic out of her pants pocket, tying her hair up. Marshall got up off the floor, throwing his arm around her shoulder. "All right, princess, let's get going. Onward to destiny." Marceline pushed him again. "That's quaint, you." They didn't want to eat at some place fancy, nor did they want to buy two meals, otherwise they would have to miss dinner. So they chose to eat at McDonald's, not the healthiest or greatest place to eat, but it was cheap enough and filling. Please tell me we're not going to eat here all the time, Marceline said as she dipped her fry in her ketchup. Of course not. It's only temporary until we get enough money to buy our own place and get our food. Marshall ripped their burger in two. He gave the other half to Marceline. Good, because I'm happy with me being at 140. Marceline bit into her half of the burger. Yeah, I know, but it's not like you're going to get fat. We both have high metabolisms, Marshall stated as he finished his half of the burger in just 3 bites. Marceline rolled her eyes. She ate her half of the food slowly, savoring the taste and how filling it was. When they finished, they tossed their food in the trash and walked out the door. They walked down the street for a couple of minutes before finally talking. So, mister, we're going to make it life. What do we do now? Marceline looked at him. Easy, you get a job that matches your personality. Marshall laughed. Marceline pushed him. You're such a jokester. Yeah, I know, but I'm serious. Get a job that doesn't require too much education, Marshall Lee stated as they passed a few stores. Well, I could always get a job as a cashier, but I can't stand talking to people at all, really. Marceline sighed. She wasn't good at talking, as she had a bad habit to insult someone or use sarcasm on them. Well, just go for it. At least it pays. Marshall shrugged. Well, what about you, mister? What are you going to do? Marceline eyed him. Same as I did in middle school. Sell either drugs, trade useless items for money, or pawn my own stuff. Marshall stated it plainly. Mar- Marceline shivered. She remembered when Marshall sold drugs to kids. He was never caught, but there were close calls that she had to get him out of. But still, if he starts up again, then she might not be able to stop him or get him out of trouble this time. Marshall looked over to her, seeing the concern in her face. Oh, relax. It's just a suggestion. I'm not actually going to do it, even though it pays well when selling. He shrugged casually and kept walking. Marceline was still worried. That was around the time that when they ran away together. Marceline remembered it like it was yesterday. Marceline was 14. She was in her room, crying and covering her eyes. Her brother and her father were fighting downstairs. He was newly caught selling drugs, their father, and he was furious at him. Despite that, she had her ears covered. She can hear every word of their conversation. How dare you nearly soil our family name, you little shit? Her father shouted. Our family name? You mean yours? I never asked to be an abdier. Marshall's voice seemed to be louder than their father's. Shut it, you're lucky I haven't sold you to an orphanage yet. I wish I was. Marceline flinched when she heard something break. Next she heard fighting, slapping, punching, and something being thrown against the wall. She heard the door open and slam violently. Marceline cried harder, hugging her knees. She heard her father come up the stairs. She quickly got up. She opened the window to her bedroom, climbing out and carefully maneuvered around on the shingled roof, watching her step as she climbed down the decorative vines that covered the back part of their house. Once she was down on the ground, she ran. She ran across the yard and climbed up the fence, her nightdress getting stuck a bit before she ripped it to get free. She hid behind the fence when she heard the back door open. Marceline! Marceline! She heard her father call her, but she didn't respond. She ran down the alleyway until she was at the end of the sidewalk. She panted and looked around. She felt a pair of hands grab her and pull her to the side. She squirmed. Hey, easy, sis, it's me, Marshall hissed. Marceline stopped. She panted, but her breath hitched as she heard the gate door open. Marshall grabbed her and threw her over his shoulder before running down the sidewalk. Marceline lost track of how long they ran, but by the looks of their surroundings, they were far from home. Marshall, where are we? Marceline asked as Marshall put her down on the ground. Marshall looked around them. He didn't seem tired from the running at all. No, but we're far from him, so that's a good thing. Come on, let's sleep in this box for the night. Marshall led Marceline over to two oversized boxes that were meant for TVs. But Marshall, it's cold, Marceline whined. Marshall groaned, rolling his eyes, sitting in a box, motioning her over. Marceline sat down next to him. He pulled her close to him. Marceline wrapped her arms around him. Just hold on to me. Maybe I can keep you warm. They spent that night in the box until morning. The cops found them and took them back to their house. Turns out their father was throwing a fit when they ran away last night. He was so worried that he called the whole neighborhood to find them. When they did, he apologized to them and said he would never do it again. He was lying. Yo, Marcy, snap out of it. Marshall snapped his fingers in front of her face. Oh, sorry, I was just, thinking. Marceline looked the other way. Marshall looked at her and raised an eyebrow. Yeah, well, can you space out when we're sitting down or at the rundown house? Seriously, you could have hurt yourself. Chapter 3 The Hunt. For the past few hours, Marceline and Marshall have been looking in every store for Marceline to get a job in. So far, none of them wanted her, mostly because she looked like a bum or her brother would insult them for judging. They've been turned down mostly, they sighed, as Marceline pushed a street light. It's hopeless. No one wants to hire me, and they think I'm a whore, a hobo, or sometimes a juvenile delinquent, Marceline hissed. I know, man, I took offense to that because I'm the juvenile delinquent in this picture also, by the way, and I stole this coat for you. Marshall pulled out a leather band jacket for her. Marshall, how did you even manage to steal this? Marceline questioned him as she put on the jacket. I never reveal my secrets, sis, and besides, you were looking a little chilly, so I decided you needed a coat of yours. Marshall chuckled. Well, thank you. Too bad you can't steal me a job, Marceline sighed. Marshall was about to say something, but stopped when they walked by a candy shop. He looked through the window and started to drool. Not a day goes by that he doesn't think about sweets. He was never able to have them as a kid because their parents strictly said no candy, but seeing this was like a dream. Marceline hadn't realized that he was no longer behind her until she noticed he wasn't talking back. She turned around to see him glued to the window. She groaned and marched back to him. How great would it be if you worked here? Marshall said in a dreamy sigh. No, Marshall, you know I hate the color pink. Marceline huffed. This place was colored the many different shades of pink. She was sick of looking at it, loathing the owners for choosing a hideous color. Marshall looked at her, heartbroken. He got down on his knees and gripped onto her legs. Oh, please, sis, you don't know how important this is to me, Marshall whined. Marshall, please, there are people watching. Marceline looked around. Please, Marcy, do it for your dear brother. Marshall whined some more. Marceline sighed. All right, fine, I'll get a job here just for you. Now stop it. Marshall got up quickly, hugging her tightly. You're the best, sis. Marceline rolled her eyes and pushed him away. They walked in the candy store that was occupied by small children and some teenagers. Marceline stuck her tongue out at the amount of pink in the room. Marshall was just grinning while looking at the candy, thinking about which ones to eat. Marceline sighed. She walked up to the counter. She saw this ginger boy who was counting the money in the cash register. He was tall and has tons of freckles on his cheek. Marceline sensed dork in him instantly. Yo, Ginger, you hiring or something? Marceline leaned in on the counter. The ginger kid looked at her and sighed. My name isn't Gingy, it's Greg, and no, we are not taking any applications at the moment, but you're welcome to wait for 6 months. Marceline stared at him, getting ready to walk out before Marshall grabbed her arm. Whoa, girl, where are you going? Marshall asked. They're not taking anyone new. Let's try that Walmart place again. Marceline tugged herself out of his grip. Marshall narrowed his eyes before turning and walking up to the counter. Hey, Freckles, why did you turn down my sis? Greg looked up from his counting. We're not hiring at the moment. Well, why not? You don't seem like you got much help going on here. Marshall raised his eyebrow at him. We have all the help we need. We don't need someone that looked like they rolled out of the dumpster. Greg closed the cash register. Marshall was about to punch him, but he resisted and thought of something else. Well, what about this? How about I take you out to dinner, and you give my sister a position in whatever you need help with? Greg looked at him before averting his gaze. Well, it has been a while since I've gone to dinner. Marcy, I got you the job. Marshall busted out of the store and hugged her tightly. Marceline yelped. What? How did you manage that? Marceline looked at him quizzically. I offered my body up, and this time I'm not naked. Marshall stated, still grinning. Marceline stared at him. What did you do? I asked the boy at the cash register out. Marshall's grin never leaving his face. Marceline groaned. Not this again. Oh well. At least I got a job, but I still need a place to shower. I don't want to go in smelling like a trash can. Oh, relax. My membership to that gym is still good for another year or so. You can use that until we get enough money for an apartment or some shit. Marshall put her down and patted her on the head. You are so insufferable, Marceline chuckled. It's a part of my manly charm. Marshall chuckled. Oh, well, great job for once, but you still need a job. Marceline poked him in the chest. Don't worry, I can beg for my old job at the music store. I'm sure the manager forgives me for something I didn't do for once. Oh, okay, Greg is Gumball in the human world. In the human world in this story. Alright, that's it. I'm done for now. And I will be back later with chapter 4 and 5 of the story. Sorry, it feels like there's a little phlegm in my throat. I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. Don't forget to be good to yourself and others. And I will see all you guys in the next video.